I think there are no rules to do with end of life or bereavement. I know it helped me unbelievably to be able to put my thoughts into the written word. But not everyone can do that. Not everyone has that at their disposal. And I think one of the things that is most important is forgiveness. So if someone says to you, you really should sit down and write, and you're not a writer, and then you're giving yourself a hard time about not being able to write, you should be doing this, so it's this odd spiral of guilt and remorse and everything else. If you want to do a painting, if you want to turn all the lights off and do some freeform dance, whatever it might be, but also everyone has a different time scale for knowing when they are able to access whatever they feel they need to put out there. So I know for me it was essential towards the end to be able to have this platform to be able to write. A very good friend of mine's dad just died and his mum's all over the shop, so he said to his mum, why not write Dad a letter about all the things that you feel sad about or that you wish to be forgiven for or whatever it might be. Write him the letter and we'll put it in the coffin. Which I thought was an extraordinary thing to suggest. And because they've got 2 or 3 weeks before the funeral, there's the time for his mum, if she's able to do this. And I think anything that you can do that will help yourself or possibly be of help to other people as well, because I think one of the things that's very important in death and bereavement, and especially in the illness running up to it, is that an awful lot of your energy is required to look after other people's neuroses. And that's one thing that I didn't know until I went through the last months with my sister. I was able to tend to her needs, medical and health, and as much as she wanted emotional needs. I was able to keep myself going, but I was very surprised with the tsunami of neurosis that came from a lot of her friends around, because of course illness, cancer, dying brings out everyone's dark neurotic tendencies. I know people who have lost friendships over a death because we don't know what to say, we don't know how to be, we get anxious, it's a language we don't speak, we've got the stock phrases, deepest sympathy, condolences, we get slightly angry with the bereaved person because we don't know what to do. And I think it's so sad that and I think this happens quite a lot, that friendships just disappear because either the person who has been bereaved has expected something and it hasn't happened, or the friend just doesn't know what to do, so stays away, because there are no rules about this. I think it's a very difficult thing. Illness, death, grief is very, very difficult because we don't embrace it, we don't talk about it, we're not taught about it at school, we don't, as talking about before, we don't have the family set up where we witness it a lot. Odd, I don't know how many people in this country have ever seen a dead body. Not that I want to be that dogmatic and say, right, we all need to go and look at a dead person. But it's just, I think it's about education. And I don't think there is a set formula for how you get over your grief or who you should reach out to. It might be family. Family may not be able to emotionally support you. It might be friends. Friends may not be able to. One would hope that there are bodies out there who are able to help you, but it's a question of knowing where they are, knowing how to access them. And I think one of the important things is to be able to have some one-stop shop, number, address, details, at a time of bereavement, that you can access if you want, at the time that you want, because of course everyone's grief happens in different stages, and one of the things as well which I've found quite remarkable is that I'd be in the supermarket and suddenly have this vomit of grief coming up. I'd be walking down the street, and it comes out of the blue. It's just like a vomit, and you welcome it, and you open yourself up to it, and you let it pass through you, and you don't get in the way, you don't question it, you're not ashamed by it. But I think a lot of the time people are ashamed as well of great emotion, especially in this country, and of showing great emotion. And people are slightly reticent about witnessing someone showing great emotion. Even laughing too loud, we don't do here, you know. So we just have to try and work out a way of it being as healthy as possible from both the person who is grieving and the person who is witnessing the grief. The important thing is there are no rules. As much as we can, we must stop using the word should. Should is one of the most dangerous pejorative words around. You know, you should be pulled together by now. You should have got over this. You should be able to. You should. Everyone works at a different pace. Everyone reacts in a different way. It's completely understandable that a lot of people get messed up and will find comfort or will find distraction in all sorts of behaviours. Understand that, and then know when to ask for someone to give them a hand to get out of that. That's the thing, because it's a big thing to get your head around. Loss and grief. It's all a big mess. All we are all trying to do at all times is navigate as hopefully as healthily and as kindly as possible through this mess. And it's never going to get any less messy, ever. And we shouldn't expect it to. And death is messy. And your response to death is messy. But try and approach it with as much compassion, kindness, and humour as possible.